Okay, folks, welcome back. And the first thing I want to do is, I've got a plastic bag. I have a plastic bag where these tank commanders are in. It may not be here. It may not be right here. Maybe tucked away. Here they are. No, those are not the guys I was looking for. These are like the allied guys. It's a little bit of everybody, but all right. Let's be methodical about this. It's got to be down here. Yeah, there's only so many places they can go. And I got some guys from War Games Foundry that are really good. Alright, what's in this bag? Americans. Okay. That's junk. Okay, here they are. Loose. These are the lead figures. I'd be surprised if any of these guys actually fit inside the turret. But I have some plastic ones too. No. Yeah, they're here somewhere. They're not in the pieces parts. Here, were they? No, yes, they are. This is probably where they are. Okay. That's probably them. Yeah, we got plenty of crews that we need to procure, because one of the other ones that's also is this guy too. The Tiger one from Dragon. Now that one is a late one, and that one actually has Zimmerit on it. All right, so We actually took some of the tracks off of the mold, and they came out pretty well for the Panther. But let's see what we got here. Are any of these Panzer Commanders? They are not. Okay. That is not. Here is a dude, and I don't know what make this is. I can't even recognize it based on the color of the. Howdy! Based on the color of that plastic. Some of these are pretty old, but they'll paint up pretty well. Alright, these guys are a couple of tank commanders. Okay, those actually look pretty decent. These guys look like dorks. Not in a hurry to use that. I don't like those Panzer Commanders that have. They're wearing ties. And these are the same dorks, I think. These are these Eschi figures. Nope. They're different dorks. They're multiplying. They might actually look alright. They might actually look alright. Let's see what other options we have. Okay, these are part of the 88 crew. Let's dump these guys out. I don't throw any of this stuff away. You never know when you're going to need it. Alright, what about this uppity looking dude? Is he the same as this one? He is, okay. Oh, this guy looks like a sad sack. He's sitting on the side like that guy might be usable. Even I used one of those on the Czech 38 sitting on there. This guy has hands of unusual size. And here's the Plastic Soldier Company guys. Here's another guy. They got a peaked cap, but I can't help to think they look like a. Nope, no. Dork. I spend 3 hours painting one of these guys. They better look good. Here's another possibility. Is this like this other figure? Yeah. You already have one of those. All right, now we're going to take, what's this guy? That's another possibility. Okay. And we'll put these guys in as well. All right, let's look at the white metal ones and see if we've got some cool folks. These are all dismantled Panzer crews, so when things go sideways, they got to bail out of the vehicle. like these come out, but we've got a bunch of like halvesy figures. Some of these are Drew's Militia, and some of these are Battlefield. So that guy actually fits in there. I was worried about the waist size, because it's kind of small on the Panther. Even that guy fits in there. Okay, so maybe it was nothing to worry about. It just looked like it was really small. Okay, this guy's just sitting on the outside. Not building a diorama. This guy's screaming into the headset. That guy fits on there great. All right, we got some real winners here. You got a guy like this, it's probably difficult to get in that hatch. No, we also have the other Tiger one. And the other Tiger one, we're planning on making that hatch open. And I was worried that I didn't have any guys that would actually fit in the hatch. When he's working his foundry, these guys are really, really big. Yeah, that guy fits in there just fine. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do that Tiger for Kursk. Yeah, that's a good figure for the loader. All right, which is the one that we had? Well, we got lots of auctions for the Panther, so let's go ahead and put the hatches on the Tiger one in place. Okay, this is for the Panther. Here's the Tiger one. There's one of the hatches. And there's the other one. I wanted to do this, but I didn't want to do this until I had the crew. I couldn't find it the other day. All right, so this is going to be glued vertically, like he's hiding behind it. And I wasn't sure that he was going to fit, and he does. He fits on there almost like Russian style, where they got those hatches that they're half hiding behind them. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and glue Tyrone. Well, good for you, man. Don't be misbehaving now. Yeah, so this guy's just barely looking over the hatch. That's perfect. And then this guy over here, let's move him out of the way before he messes something up. And this weak little hatch cover There you go. Now we'll take a little bit of stickum and put something underneath it so you can hold it in place while this dries. Something like that. And then this guy is going to be, we're going to have to rotate him a little bit because his elbow's kind of in the way. He'll be like so. So this is the two crewmen for the Kursk Tiger. All right. Guy doesn't look very comfortable. This is a late tiger. Late tiger, they had different type of caps. They had black Panzer caps were pretty common at that point. Yeah, those are not very good figures. Let's cut the end of this guy right here. That guy's perfect. He's got his hand on the right place. Sold! And then the Panther. That hatch is going to rotate, and it's going to rotate out. And when it's open, it actually overhangs the outside of the turret. Let's just trim this. And then we'll go put the track on the Panther. The track that we made. Because it didn't come with any spare track at all. Now, it's kind of obvious that this should rotate out. We're going to make sure that that is the case on the actual vehicle. So I'm going to do a quick search here. Just to be safe, Panther G turret hatch. Yeah. So we're going to rotate it. like so. Okay. Now, and this is the guy that's going to go in with this one. So we got all that squared away. We can go ahead and put all these figures away. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in the same bag since it is all Panzer Crewmen. I don't care that some of these are white metal and some of them are plastic. Now, I think I made enough track last night. Put this back where it goes. Alright. Alright, the Panthers are here. This is the Panther set. So here's the original tracks that we had, and here's the copy that we made of them. So that way we don't get rid of our original. So if you want to make more, you can. These extra parts for the Tiger. Okay. Oh, just technically these guys go in here as well. Got all put all the stuff together so you have it there when you can find it. All right. And I don't think I found a MG34 I was really happy with. But the MG ring sits something like that. And it's just a rail that you can bring. I think it's articulated. Maybe it's just articulated in one place at the top. Now, that's an option. It's also an option like this, and honestly, it looks better this way. How did we do this other one? How did we do the one that we completed? Let's see. Okay, we ran it from so I'm going to make this exactly the same as this one for consistency. Now, a lot of stuff on this older model has no pegs, nor does it have locators. All right, so here is the original track, and here is the reproduction track. And other than it being too thick, because you can't make the backside. If you make the backside, well, you don't have the front side. The pegs came out really well on it. So all we're going to do is we're going to reduce this in thickness. And this is something that sits like back here as extra armor. And you've got one for both sides and a couple extra pieces as well. And of course we did this one with the tube going latitudinally on the tank. Drilled out the antenna. And the jury's still out whether I'm going to put the side skirts on it. I'm leaning towards probably putting them on. Now, the Panther A's, I think, have one with and one without. Let's see if that's an accurate statement. No, neither one of them have them because they're for Panzer at Normandy, and the pictures of them didn't have them on there. Okay, so 6 1/2 dozen the other on this. This is a late Panther, so a later Panther. Let's see if we can reduce some of this. And I have not gotten good results sanding this. See if we can cut ourselves alive. I don't think that's happened yet. Well, there's a first time for everything. I'm actually going to cut these in smaller sections. Even if we glue them long. Okay, now when we're cutting this, we don't have to go across a really long distance. So this is going to face up, so we want this to look better than the other side. And we got to make sure that we're trying to cut as vertical as we can. And this stuff is almost like, well, it's almost like rubber. And I want to make sure I don't have to, I'm not going to cut some of the detail off. So I'm cheating this one, pushing this way as I'm cutting it. Okay. And then with this, just take it the rest of the way. I mean, that looks really good. And that way you don't throw away the original. Because this actually came with no extra track on it. It's a pretty minimalist model, but hey, what do you want for $5? Although I bet if you look right now, this thing's going for 13, 14, 15 bucks, something like that. Maybe even more. That looks good. Maybe thin this on this side a little bit more. It's like you're slicing little pieces of the most expensive cheese ever. Yeah, so there's one. Yeah, if I left the piece long, which really it's 3 sections, then I'd have to somehow get the angle going right and go through all this distance. So a lot safer to do small bites. Now this is going to be the top, so let's do it the same way we did it last time. I'm going to get it about there, about the right distance, just rock it back and forth. Oh, this calls for a drink. Iced coffee at first, of course. You don't have to push on this very hard. So, like I said, it's not likely to get injured, even though you're cutting towards yourself, only because you're just not putting that much pressure on it. Green Parmesan. So what you're doing, cutting really expensive green Parmesan. Yeah, if I use the original that came with another model, I'd have to buy another model to get these again. So instead of that, we just made the mold. Made the mold out of, what's that stuff? Hino de washi oyumaru. Like, bless you. Right here. There's one of the molds right here. Made out of rubber and totally reusable. And then we'll super glue these. And I'm not a big fan of using super glue, but can't use the weld cement on this stuff. That looks really good. Now let's go to the other side. Got a couple of spare pieces and another 3-pack. Good evening, folks. Happy Tuesday. And the cool thing about this mold stuff is you can just use hot water. It's reusable. The mold gets made immediately. You have to sit on this over 24 hours for this, so this material is easy to work with. I didn't even pull it out of the mold until I got home from work. I didn't want it to get be squishy and get messed up. I haven't been using this material that long, but what I have, I've really enjoyed working with it. Probably the worst thing about working with green stuff is mixing it up. It's not difficult to do, it's just an unpleasant experience. It takes a lot longer than it should. And by the way, this batch that I got seemed like it had about a third more of the yellow than it did of the blue, but it hardened up just fine. I don't notice any difference. Well, that was it. It scared everybody off. Yeah, now we can remove that. Those hatches will stay in place. You know, it's just like dry brushing. Don't attempt to do this in one swipe. Take your time. Be patient. Okay, that looks pretty good. So if we put 3 on this side, hell, I could probably put 4 on this side. Of course, the back of the turret is going to hit that, so maybe we want to do that. We're going to put 2 on this side. We're going to put 3 on this one. Okay, and these are just extra tracks so we can just hold on to for a later date. Yes, this would use like 5 pieces of track. I wouldn't have any spares then. Because these molds are reusable. I don't want to just like hold on to them. I may need to turn them into something else. All right, let's use the green super glue. That allows me some flexibility to moving it around a little bit wherever she is. It fell over. That's why. This stuff is hard to find. Repositionable gel. Okay. And this side we're going to put 2. Perfect. All right, I'll be right back. Well, I might just stop here for tonight. I wanted to get this done. Got that done. Still got mixed feelings on the side skirts. Plastic Soldier Company ones are so much bigger lengthwise. Yeah, it's like a whole other piece. Now, I'll tell you what. I didn't like the fact that these are raised when they should be. Let's make sure we put these the correct way. Is the Panther book handy here? No, we put it away. All right. I'm gonna take some more. I'm gonna take a look at some pictures and see which way I want to go with it. I actually don't like the way it looks. But it does make it look different than the other ones, so. All right, folks, we'll be back on our regular scheduled time in the mornings. We'll see you guys.